It was a profound personal commitment which defined her whole life. She made sacrifices for duty. Her dedication and devotion as sovereign never wavered. Through times of change,
my husband, he does it really. He can do all the voice.
My mother was the Queen for a very long time. And although you kind of know that this might happen, you don't really think about it very much. Not least of all because the monarchy is about continuity.
All right, let's be real for a moment. When you picture Princess Anne, what do you see? Duty, discipline. The one royal who is all work and absolutely no drama. She's the last person on earth you'd expect to light a match inside Buckingham Palace. But what if I told you she didn't just light a match, she threw a bomb? Now, watch this. The story that's ripping through palace circles is that Anne made a revelation about Queen Camilla. And we're not talking about an old grudge or a simple complaint. We're talking about a revelation. A piece of information so disturbing, it didn't just raise eyebrows. It forced the entire royal family to draw a line in the sand. And the fallout? It's what no one thought was actually possible. This one revelation appears to be the final straw, the single push that has led to Queen Camilla being, for all intents and purposes, kicked out. Not with a public announcement, but quietly, behind the scenes, where the real power plays happen. This is the story of how one woman's words may have dismantled a queen. So stay with me, because we are going to break down exactly what Princess Anne revealed and why it was so devastating. And before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. It's always amazing to see how far these stories travel. And hey, if you end up liking what you hear, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It helps more than you know. This simmering tension, this clash of old guard versus new order, had been going on for years. But it was always kept behind the palace's very thick walls. It was a cold war, fought with icy glances and pointedly correct, but never warm pleasantries. But the moment their mother passed away and Charles became king, the Cold War started to heat up. Suddenly, Camilla wasn't just the Duchess of Cornwall anymore. She was the Queen Consort. And for Anne, that changed everything. This brings us to the coronation, a moment meant to be the absolute peak of unity, the official start of a new era. But behind the scenes, it was a powder keg. At the coronation dinner, an event for the inner circle only, Anne saw her chance. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst of anger. Palace insiders describe it as a calculated, deliberate move. She approached Camilla, and what followed wasn't a shouting match. It was something far more chilling. It was a direct, unflinching confrontation. So what was the disturbing revelation? This is the crucial part. It wasn't just Anne dredging up the past. According to sources who have pieced the conversation together, Anne's revelation was about Camilla's current actions and influence over the new king. She allegedly accused Camilla of actively working to reshape the monarchy in her own image. This wasn't just about changing menus or redecorating palaces. Anne's accusation was that Camilla was pushing King Charles to make decisions that served her own agenda, not the crown's. Think about it. The plan for a slimmed-down monarchy was supposedly about making the institution more modern and cost-effective. But Anne reportedly laid out how the specific changes being proposed seemed to conveniently sideline lifelong blood royals, like Prince Edward, and even Anne's own family, while elevating Camilla's own status and securing positions for her own relatives and allies within the royal sphere. She saw it as a power grab, happening right under everyone's noses. The revelation was that Camilla wasn't just enjoying her new role, she was actively manipulating it to consolidate her power base. But here's the most disturbing part of the revelation. Anne didn't stop there. She reportedly brought up Camilla's attempts to alter key traditions and protocols, things Anne considers sacred. Small things, like the order of precedence at private events, and bigger things, like the tone and formality of royal engagements. Anne framed this not as modernization, but as an erosion of the very standards her mother upheld for 70 years. The final, devastating blow was her assertion that Camilla's influence was making Charles appear weak, a king led by his wife rather than by his duty. To a monarchist like Anne, there is no greater sin. She basically told Camilla to her face, "You are undermining the crown my mother built, and you are using my brother to do it." The air in that room must have been electric. This wasn't just a criticism. It was an accusation of sabotage from within. Anne, in effect, declared that the biggest threat to the new reign wasn't coming from outside the palace walls, but from the woman sitting beside the king on the throne. Now, a confrontation like that doesn't happen in a vacuum. It was the culmination of many smaller moments, and it only worked because Anne wasn't alone in her feelings. This is where Princess Kate comes back into the picture. Stay with me. While Anne is the blunt instrument, Kate is the silent strategist. She plays the long game. She is acutely aware that she is the next Princess of Wales, after Diana, and the future Queen. Her every move is calibrated for maximum impact with minimum noise. Let's go back to that moment we talked about earlier, the non-curtsy. In the wake of Anne's confrontation, that small act of defiance takes on a whole new meaning. It wasn't just a personal feeling about Camilla's past. It can now be seen as a quiet signal of allegiance. Kate, by withholding that gesture of deference, was silently co-signing Anne's outrage. She was communicating, in the coded language of the royals, that she stood with the traditionalists. She was showing that the resistance to Camilla's authority ran deeper than just one outspoken princess. Think of the power of that. You have Anne, the revered daughter of the late Queen, launching the direct assault, and you have Kate, the beloved wife of the future king, providing the quiet but undeniable backup. Together, they formed a powerful bloc. It sent a message to the rest of the family and the palace courtiers. This isn't a fringe opinion. This is a serious division at the very heart of the family, involving the past, present, and future of the monarchy. King Charles was now trapped, truly and utterly trapped. On one side, he has his wife of nearly 2 decades, the woman he fought the world to be with, the love of his life. He promised her she would be queen. To go against her would be a personal betrayal of the highest order. On the other side, he has his only sister, a woman who is the living embodiment of his mother's values, whose argument carries the immense weight of tradition and public respect. And alongside her, he has his daughter-in-law, the impeccably popular future queen, signaling her dissent. To ignore them would risk a full-blown family schism, a civil war that would make the drama with Harry and Meghan look like a minor squabble. It would project an image of a weak, divided monarchy, which is the last thing he needs at the start of his reign. He had to make a choice, not between his wife and his sister, but between his wife's ambition and the stability of the crown itself. And this is where the kicked-out part begins to take shape. But it's not what you think. You don't just fire a queen. There's no official process for that. It has to be done with smoke and mirrors. It has to be done the palace way. Shortly after this period of intense internal turmoil, the announcements began. First, Queen Camilla was scheduled to attend the Field of Remembrance at Westminster Abbey. It's a deeply significant and solemn event, a cornerstone of the royal calendar. At the last minute, the palace announced she would not be attending. The official reason? Her doctors had advised her to rest, following a chest infection. It was plausible. People get sick. But then, it happened again. A few days later, a grand reception was planned at Windsor Castle to celebrate British Olympic and Paralympic medalists. A huge, high-profile event. Camilla was set to be a key figure. Again, a last-minute cancellation. The palace statement was brief, citing her ongoing recovery. The pattern was starting to emerge. But the real signal came with the Remembrance Sunday service at the cenotaph. This is arguably the most sacred public duty a senior royal performs all year. It is non-negotiable. Queen Elizabeth II attended every single year of her reign until her health made it physically impossible. Camilla was there, but her role was visibly different. She stood on the balcony, but other royals were pushed to the forefront. The focus was subtly shifted. It was a visual recalibration of her importance. Royal watchers and insiders started connecting the dots. One cancellation could be an illness. Two could be a coincidence. But a sustained pattern of withdrawal from key, high-stakes events, immediately following a catastrophic internal confrontation, starts to look less like a health issue and more like a strategy. The chest infection became the perfect cover story. It allowed the palace to remove Camilla from the public stage without admitting to the internal crisis. It was a diplomatic illness, a classic tactic used for centuries to manage inconvenient political and royal figures. By framing it as a health concern, they achieved several things at once. First, it generated public sympathy for Camilla, softening any perception of her being punished. You can't be angry at someone for being unwell. Second, it lowered the temperature of the family conflict. With Camilla out of the spotlight, the target was gone. Anne and Kate had, in effect, won the immediate battle. The cause of their frustration was no longer front and center. Third, and most importantly, it gave King Charles breathing room. It allowed him to reassert control, to be seen as the sole decisive leader, without his wife's influence being a constant topic of debate. So, was she literally kicked out of the royal family? No. Her title remains. She is still the queen consort. But has she been kicked out of the center of power? Has she been effectively sidelined from the core, decision-making, and public-facing duties of the monarchy? The evidence strongly suggests yes. This is a quiet eviction, a strategic retreat forced upon her and the king by the unyielding pressure from within their own family. She is being demoted from a co-star of the reign to a supporting character. The irony here is breathtaking. For decades, Camilla's entire story was about fighting to get in. She endured public scorn, press intrusion, and the cold shoulder from the royal establishment. She patiently waited, playing the long game, until she finally achieved the ultimate goal. She was crowned queen, alongside the man she loved. And in a matter of months, through what Anne saw as overreach and a misreading of the new court, she found herself being pushed right back out again. Not by the public or the press this time, but by the very family she had fought so hard to join. It proves a fundamental truth about the British monarchy. Marriage can get you a title, but it doesn't automatically grant you power. Power in that family is earned through bloodline, through decades of flawless service, and through an almost fanatical adherence to the traditions that Princess Anne champions. Camilla's journey shows that she won Charles's heart, but she never fully won the trust of the institution he leads. So what happens now? The monarchy has navigated a crisis, but it has emerged changed. The power dynamic has been reset. Princess Anne has proven that the old guard, the values of Queen Elizabeth II, still hold immense power. She acted as the family's immune system, identifying what she perceived as a threat and working to neutralize it. Her position as the king's conscience is now solidified. Princess Kate's status has also been enhanced. By playing her part so shrewdly, she has shown herself to be a formidable political operator, capable of wielding great influence without ever raising her voice. She has aligned herself with the institution's core values, further cementing her role as a stable and reliable future for the monarchy. She protected the brand. And King Charles? He has been forced to make an impossible choice, and in doing so, has perhaps learned a difficult lesson about the difference between being a prince and being a king. As Prince of Wales, his primary duty was to his own happiness and to securing Camilla's future. As king, his primary duty is to the survival and stability of the crown. The confrontation with his sister forced him to prove which duty came first. His decision to allow Camilla to be sidelined, however painful personally, was an act of a king choosing the institution over the individual. The story isn't over, of course. Camilla is still queen consort. She will likely ease back into public life, but her role will almost certainly be different. It will be more carefully managed, less prominent, and always under the watchful eye of the traditionalists, who now know they can, and will, intervene if they feel the monarchy is straying from its path. The battle for the soul of the Windsor dynasty has been fought, and, for now, a victor has been declared. It wasn't the king, and it wasn't his queen. It was the unwavering, uncompromising spirit of the queen who came before them, channeled through her most devoted daughter. So, when you strip away all the pomp and circumstance, what are we really looking at here? It's not just a family spat. It's a quiet, bloodless coup, fought not in the battlefields of old, but in the private dining rooms and gilded corridors of Buckingham Palace. Princess Anne, in her own uncompromising way, didn't just challenge Camilla. She reminded everyone that the values of her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, are not suggestions. They are the law. She proved that, in the Windsor dynasty, a lifetime of unwavering, flawless duty still holds more power than a title gained through even the most enduring love story. What this whole episode has done is reset the chessboard for the next generation. Anne has solidified her role as the monarchy's ultimate guardian, its unshakable conscience. Anyone who steps out of line now knows she is watching, and she is not afraid to act. Princess Kate, with her masterful and calculated silence, played the long game perfectly. She sided with the institution without ever having to say a word, emerging from the conflict stronger, more respected, and looking more like a queen-in-waiting than ever before. She has shown herself to be a shrewd political operator, and that will define her future reign. And what about King Charles? He was faced with the first, and perhaps most difficult, test of his kingship. Was he a husband first, or a monarch? By allowing Camilla to be so publicly, yet so quietly sidelined, he made his choice. He chose the crown. It's a lonely, cold decision, the kind his mother made time and time again. It shows he understands the weight of his new role, even if it comes at a great personal cost. As for Camilla, she finds herself in the most ironic position imaginable. After decades of fighting to get in, to be accepted, to finally wear the crown, she now finds herself on the throne, but potentially on the outside looking in. Her story serves as the ultimate cautionary tale for anyone who marries into this family. You can win the heart of the monarch, but that doesn't mean you've conquered the monarchy itself. The institution is a much older, much stronger beast. This story is far from over. The immediate crisis may have been managed, but the tensions that caused it are still there, simmering just beneath the surface. What do you think about all this? Did Princess Anne go too far? Or did she do what was necessary to protect the crown? Is this a fair outcome for Camilla after everything she's been through? I genuinely want to hear your take, so let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to make sure you don't miss our next story, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button right now. And of course, click the like button. It really helps the channel and tells me you want more content just like this. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.